This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Well, hello and welcome along to Chasing the Dollar, brought to you by Sportingbet. Ben Damon is my name, joined by Adam Pengilly as always. And Adam, gee, you've been thereabouts. Lots of value in your tipping for winners, but finding them each way at a decent sort of a price. This week, though, we're going to go the next gear. We played a little wider in the market last week, Ben, and come up a little bit short, but we're going to go to the next gear this week. We're going to try and find a few winners. Really looking forward to Triggsy coming to Wentworth Park again on Saturday night. He put it all together last week. He looks a greyhound loaded with ability and potential to go to group class. So we're going to really look forward to Saturday night. Yeah, it's a pretty nice looking meeting on Saturday night at Wentworth Park. We kick off the quaddie with race number 5. Let's have a little look at it. And there they are. Johnny Fire goes from the inside here, comes back from Bulleye, and you do like it. Yeah, going to go with Johnny Fire here, Ben, on Saturday night. I think he's only been out of the money twice in 25 starts, so he's such a consistent greyhound. So I'm going to make him my on-top selection here. Coming back in grade from the Bulleye Gold Cup heats on Monday night when he ran down the track behind Jagger Swagger. Certainly wasn't disgraced in that race. He's not the cleanest beginner, but if he can punch up along the rails and be in the firing line going past the post the first time, I think he can be pretty strong late. So I'm going to make him my on-top selection. Going to go with Dozen Points as the second pick. Now, he's been racing pretty well behind the smart Princess Black of late. Like Johnny Fire, doesn't have a whole lot of genuine early speed, but if he can be prominent early, he'll be doing his best work late. Going to throw Vivian Bale in for third now. I found the top 3 in box order, actually. She's a pretty good beginner, but can struggle to run out a strong 500 sometimes. She's drawn to get a pretty soft run here, so I think she might be a chance. And I'm going to go with Desirado for fourth, a place hope from a wide draw. So my numbers are going to be 1, 2, 3 and 6. That takes us to race number 6, which is the second leg of the quaddie on Saturday night. Now, this is the Aiming for 65 Red Dogs in May race, and of course, right around the state of New South Wales. GRNSW are raising funds for cystic fibrosis research, and this on Saturday night is the designated 65 Roses race meeting at Wentworth Park. And race number 6 is a pretty nice looking one too. Yeah, it's not a bad race, Ben, and Magnum Blast is not without a chance either as well in this one, but I'm going to go with Triggsy. To my eye, I thought he really matured into a top-class greyhound last week when he came out humming out of the boxes. When he leads, it's going to take a really special greyhound to run him down. So he's going to be my on-top selection on Saturday night. I think he's probably favoured a little bit as well with Unexplained drawing outside of him. Unexplained tends to veer a little bit right at boxer eye, so it's another small favour in Triggsy's advantage here. So I'm going to go with him as my on-top selection. Now, Magnum Blast, we were pretty keen on him last week at an each-way price, and he ran a fantastic race behind Charmed Assassin in the free-for-all. If he can poke up along the rails, he'll be doing his best work late and is definitely not without a chance. Unexplained is the big question mark in the race for me here, Ben. Coming back from the WA Derby last week, it's going to be interesting to see how he backs up after the return trip to Perth. No doubt at his best, he probably wins this race, but I just want to tread cautiously if you're a supporter of his and see how he comes up from that long trip to Perth and back. And Dillinger is the knockout for me. He looks like a potential candidate to lead this race, so one that you include in your wider multiples. Race number 7 is the Blue Paws Final. Now, Gradance gets about here, has a pretty good record and some good times at the track. Is that where you're going? Yeah, I was umming and ahhing about this race for a long time, Ben, but I'm going to go with Gradance here. If you look at his best time at the track, he's ran 29.80 odd before, which is clearly he's a class greyhound. He did that off a first split of 5.61. So you probably get an idea of when I say he's a very talented greyhound, that's where you get it from. I think from the draw here, he should be able to get a nice cut into the race off the back of Maya Karoma, and he shouldn't have too much pressure from Whale and Joy on his outside. I still think he's got plenty of upside, this greyhound, so he's going to be my on-top selection. Now, Retiring was the fastest heat winner last week and probably won't mind a wide alley. I'm just leaning towards Gradance because I think he's probably a little bit more improvement in him than Retiring, so Gradance will be the top pick. Head Rush is another that's backing up after the Bulleye Gold Cup series and has the ability to burn across from an outside alley. He has plenty of speed and could be the surprise bracket in the race. And Rocket Banquet gets an ideal draw to figure as well. Well, let's look at the final leg of the quaddie at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. It's a pretty open-looking race too. Not sure where you'll find a favourite. Perhaps Mexico City, which went a pretty smart time last time around. Where do you go here, Adam? I think Mexico City will probably be favourite, Ben. I'm going to go with Amadeus Strikes. Now, it all depends how forward she is for this race. She's resuming after a little short let-up. If you go back to the Golden Easter Egg series, Stephen White was nursing her with a little niggle through that series, and she still managed to run second to Spud Regis in the Ambrosoli final, which is a consolation to the Golden Easter Egg series. Now, she's not the best beginner, but if she can get around that first turn unimpeded, she's definitely a winning chance going around down the back straight and coming home to the finishing post. So I'm going to go with Amadeus Strikes on top. Mexico City was absolutely fantastic last week, but I think he'll probably find his place in the market on Saturday night. I don't think he'll get too much pressure from Femme Fatale or Teddy Boy in the early stages, but I think Amadeus Strikes might be able to
expose a chink in his armour late if he might struggle to run out a strong 500. El Caballo is as honest as they come and is always a decent place chance. He has to avoid getting tangled up with Pride of Mykonos early, but he'll be a top chance of finishing in the first 3 if he can do that. And Lucky I'm Black produced a huge effort last week and can improve here.
All right, that's a look at the quaddie legs. Let's get Adam's best bet on the program.
Going to go with Johnny Fireban in the 5th race. He's such a consistent greyhound. He's back down in grade, and I think the draw suits. So I think I'm happy to make a profit out of him if we back him on Saturday night.
And some value for us?
She can be a little hard to catch at sometimes. I'm going to go with race 9, number 7, Pepper Khan. I think she's maturing into a greyhound that's got plenty of ability and from a kennel that's absolutely firing at the moment. There's a little speed around her, but I'm happy to spec her at an each-way price.
All right, take us through your quaddie.
Going to go with Johnny Fire and dozen points in the first leg, Ben. The second leg's a very high class race. We're going to include Trixie, Magnum Blast and Unexplained as the support cast. Gradance, Retiring and Head Rush look the 3 to beat in the Blue Paws final. And going to come home with Amadeus Strikes and Mexico City.
OK, thank you very much, Adam. Should be a nice night there on Saturday night with the 65 Roses charity night.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic night. Looking forward to Trixie going around as well.
Yep, certainly. And we'll see you next time on Chasing the Dollar.
This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.